and this is how you show up. I've been doing this for a really, really long time. As far as being on stage goes, I've been doing that since I was like 6 years old, and my mom enrolled me in dance classes, and I was up on stage realizing that my responsibility in this moment was to entertain people. I took it steps further. I tried to make them laugh when it was supposed to be a serious recital. And later on the street, trying to get people just to stop. I knew if I could get them to stop for just 1 second, just one moment, I could show them something amazing. I could make them laugh, and maybe they'd see enough value in it to help me pay my rent, buy groceries for my family, enjoy the art and support it. In the beginning, everything feels exciting and new. And not just during like the big milestones either. The first restaurant that I landed, the first trade show that I performed at, the first big engagement that I got in a private home. It wasn't just that. It arrived on ordinary days. Sitting at the kitchen table, sharing ice cream with my children. I had one of the biggest epiphanies for my show during that conversation. And it changed everything. The big revelations happen in the ordinary times, when you're tired, when you've answered too many emails, when the algorithm is doing whatever the hell algorithms do. Maybe the audience is smaller than you hoped. You don't draw as big a crowd standing on the corner. Maybe the room feels different than the one you imagined yourself being in. I don't think at any point in my career I said, hey, I'd like to write and execute a seance show for people in a historic hotel. I just wanted to pull my heart out and put a light on it. And somewhere in the middle of all the moments of life, you can realize something really important, quietly important. This is who you are. Not when the conditions improve, not when the big high-ticket sales happen, not when motivation returns, and certainly not when the perfect setup appears. The time is right now. This realization has been sitting with me lately in my quiet times and my non-working times. A lot of people imagine consistency as a kind of a polished, disciplined thing. Like people who stay committed somehow wake up every morning full of clarity and purpose and certainty. But honestly, most of the work that matters in my life happened when things sucked. The best writing I've done happened when I was exhausted. Some meaningful performances happened on nights where I was crying in the wings because I'd lost my mother, because I'd lost my marriage, because people are cruel. Some important conversations happened when I was distracted, overwhelmed, or uncertain about everything in the world going on around me. And I realized that all that integration, real integration, is not about creating the ideal conditions. It is about, if you're going to show your heart, you have to listen to it. You have to feel the pain, the joy, the rapture that comes out of who you are, the beauty that you see around you in the world, even in the ugliest times. And you integrate that. And that doesn't happen in the perfect time. Become someone who can carry the work into changing conditions. I've noticed in coming into the shows, the seance show, that different audiences arrive different ways. Some groups come in elated and happy and chatting and laughing with each other. Some come in very cautious and unsure about what they signed up for, or what their partner asked them to come along for. I thought, especially like during the comedy club days and the street days, I thought that it was my job to take control of the room. It's an easy trope to fall into. But I think the responsibility these days, my age as it is now, I think my responsibility is to arrive fully myself, no matter who walks into the room, or who they are, what mood they bring in. It changes everything when I am the consistent. Once you stop depending on the room to determine who you are, you become steadier. Not not rigid or emotionless, just grounded and confident in who you are. Every platform out there, every stump, every podium that you stand behind, or that other people stand behind, encourage fragmentation, encourage it's you against them, it's us against them. There's a version that they put up for their YouTube page, or for Instagram, or for their LinkedIn, or for their Facebook, or whatever the platform is. There's a version of themselves for the people they think are important. There's another version for people you think might be thinking of leaving, or bored, or just don't get it. And after a while, you can start losing track of which voice is actually yours. I've watched some very talented people just slowly abandon themselves in exchange for optimization. Everything becomes strategic. Every sentence becomes calculated. Every opinion gets softened or exaggerated depending on the audience. Adaptation is normal, don't get me wrong. You have to adapt for the size of the room. A theater audience is different than a podcast audience. A short form video is different than a full on live performance. So working on the street, working in the comedy clubs is different than working for a corporate group or a church group or a family event. But adaptation and abandonment are not the same thing. People can feel when you're really connected to yourself. They may not always have the language for it. They may put labels on it like confidence or something along those lines. They trust it when you trust yourself. And I can think about that even in the small moments now. How do I answer people when I'm tired? How do I speak to the server at the restaurant? How do I carry myself when nobody is watching? What version of me walks into a small room versus a big one? I do the seance show, which is capped out at 13 people total. But then I also work the magic show, which is 70 plus. It's a big different feeling in a big different room. How do I carry myself as I walk into each of those venues? And is it, at its core, still me? There is a note that either your standards are portable or they're not. And do they only exist when the conditions are perfect? And if that's the case, they're probably not standards yet. They're just preferences. And that's a difficult thing to admit, especially for creatives, because we romanticize inspiration. We want to feel aligned before we show up fully, but identity is usually built in repetition and not intensity. The person you become is shaped far more by the ordinary Thursdays than dramatic breakthroughs. How you answer the email thoughtfully, how you attend the rehearsal even when you don't feel like rehearsing or practicing, doing it anyway. The decision in an incredibly hypocritical world to not become cynical, to still dig for beauty, to still keep making beautiful things, even when you don't feel beautiful yourself. Create art in seasons where nobody seems to notice. It matters. It matters more than anything. And I don't say that from any kind of mountain of perfect discipline. Quite the opposite, really. The older I get, I think I have more compassion for how difficult this actually is, how much it actually is work on some days, on most days. Life wants to interrupt art constantly and consistently. There's fatigue, there's doubt, there's disappointment, and there's success. Success can be as big an obstacle as failure if you let it distract you from what is truly important. Can you remain recognizable to yourself even through a changing season? Not perfect, not endlessly productive, just honest, consistent in spirit, present. Be present. I think it's what people truly are responding to when they follow someone for years. Not perfection, coherence. The feeling that the same human being exists across different rooms, across platforms, across successes and setbacks alike. And maybe that's what integration truly is at its heart. Not balance, not optimization, not adherence to the algorithm, and not becoming frictionless, just carrying the same center of gravity from every single room that you enter, being consistently yourself and loving that self that you bring in. I can see the Rocky Mountains from my window. I can see the snow still on the caps of the peaks. I can see the clouds and the sun moving around them. This morning is a beautiful morning. But even in the overcast days and the heavily snowy days and the torrential rains and the bad winds that we get up here, the day remains beautiful. I discovered beauty in even the conflict. I'm sitting here talking to you, just another ordinary morning, another imperfect day where the work continues anyway. I have been blessed with this beautiful view. I have been blessed with this air in my lungs and with this voice to communicate the stories, the ability to tell them, and the responsibility to tell them well and consistently from my own heart. Maybe that's enough. Maybe it's more than enough. I feel injustice and I feel the hypocrisy and I want to do something, and I've discovered and reclaimed to myself again and again that the gift I have been given is the responsibility that I have to help other people where they are to the best of my ability, to keep my little corner of the universe consistent, to love and to art and to beauty the best that I can. And it's those small moments that really affect and impact the rest of the world. I say that without ego or without vanity. I say it because I believe it. I have been given a gift and I intend to use it, and I am expected to use it by the one who gave it to me. Wherever you are today, I hope you're learning to trust the version of yourself that continues showing up gently, honestly, and without needing the conditions to become perfect, to be yourself. The work continues. The art continues. I'm glad you're here for it. And I hope there's love where you are.